Hey everyone, excited to be back for this week's edition of Frequently Asked Questions for Commercial Real Estate. In today's video, what I want to do is talk about a terminology that I actually learned in my CCIM 102 class, and one that is very relevant when it comes to projecting growth in a particular market, and that is what exactly are basic jobs. And then from there, once we do determine what basic jobs are, how do you determine what the impact of basic jobs moving into an area are, so then you can then project what type of opportunity presents itself within the commercial real estate market for that particular market. So before we dive into this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe to this channel. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm and ensures more and more people can hear this message and learn about the many facets of commercial real estate. So now I've done that. Go and like and subscribe below. Let's go ahead and dive right into this episode. All right. So the question itself is, what exactly are basic jobs? And luckily, I had the opportunity to take my CCIM 102 class. I just recently got my CCIM designation, and huge shout out to Bo Barron, who's actually my professor for CCIM, a good friend of mine, also a podcaster himself, very well versed when it comes to what basic jobs are and what impact they can have in the economy. But essentially what a basic employment is that it's considered to be jobs that are export-oriented or export-driven, associated with activities that generate incomes and sales of products and services for markets outside of the local economy. So imagine, we use an example in our CCIM 102 class of a big battery plant that's going to be located just about an hour south of Louisville. Ford is going to be producing this massive facility to create batteries for a lot of their SUV product. So a lot of those batteries are going to be exported outside of just our local area because Fords are going to be shipped all over the world. And so because of the jobs that are created in that area, the jobs that are created within that battery plant are considered basic because the products they produce will ultimately be exported to places outside of our local economy, and dollars will essentially flow into the economy as a result, right? Because if you sell a product to someone else, you produce that product, sell it to someone else, and that money comes in the economy and then flows around within that economy, which then creates more jobs that are servicing, that ecosystem. And so the reason why learning about basic jobs is so important is because one basic job creates a subsect of more jobs, right? Because if you have money flowing in the economy, people are going to be, having wages and employment. They need to spend that money with different products and services, right? Maybe that means more restaurants move into town. Maybe that means there's other services that move into town, like physicians or dental, or all these different other types of jobs are created because you have export-driven employment within the market. And so usually what ends up happening is you take whatever the projected basic jobs are and then multiply that by an economic-based multiplier. Economic-based multipliers are metrics that are created, and you can actually find them for a variety of different cities and municipalities around the country. They're generated from different information that is categorized and formulated and pushed out online. But you take out that economic-based multiplier, and it tells you how many service jobs are created as a result of an economic or a single basic job come into play. So let's just, for example, explain how this could be valuable to you as a commercial real estate professional, or even someone who is looking to start a business in a particular market. So let's say that in the case of Ford, there are 3,000 jobs that are created from as a result of that plant coming into play. And let's say that the majority of the jobs, maybe 2,000 of those jobs, are considered basic, meaning they are those jobs are focused on producing the product that will ultimately be exported. So that means you have 2,000 new basic jobs that are coming into the market. Now, after reviewing your economic-based multiplier tables that you can find online, you determine that for this particular market, one basic job leads to 3 or 4 new jobs that are service-oriented. So imagine, now new QSRs come into play, quick service restaurants. So you have people who are employed as servers or people who are producing the food. Now you have people that are coming in that are, optometrists or physicians, or a variety of different service-related jobs and other types of jobs that support that local ecosystem. So let's say the economic-based multiplier in this case is 4. So you take the 2,000 basic jobs and multiply that by the economic-based multiplier 4. That means a total of 8,000 jobs will be created or will be in that ecosystem, including the 2,000 basic jobs that are going to be moving into the area as a result of that announcement. So what does that mean? Well, You take that 8,000 basic job total and you determine, okay, well, how many households will be created as a result of those 8,000 jobs? You backtrack into that and say, okay, well, if the average household has 2.2 people and both spouses work, that means 4,000 new residential rooftops are going to be required to be able to satisfy that demand. So if you're a developer of residential homes, that's a unique opportunity. Let's say you analyze the market and say, wow, we have a shortfall of 2,500 residential homes. If I'm a residential developer, I'm going to go in there and try to buy as much land as I can to help satisfy that demand. Same thing goes for multifamily developers. Maybe you say, okay, well, there's a shortfall of this amount of multifamily units. If I'm going to be developing 200 multifamily units and the shortfall is 2,500, you can imagine that it's probably going to be a pretty successful project if you bring it to market before other developers get in and ultimately satisfy that demand as well. Same goes for retail, industrial, everything, right? You can kind of backtrack from those metrics and determine whether or not a project is worthwhile based on what the economic impact is going to be of those job announcements. So ever since I had the class, whenever I see a job announcement come into play, I always think about, okay, are those going to be basic jobs, meaning they're going to be, the jobs themselves are going to be focused on creating something, a product or service that's going to be exported. Thus, it's going to create more jobs for the local area. Or are those just, service jobs or non-basic jobs, as they're called, that are really just going to be, supporting the basic industries within our market? And so hopefully you gain some value from this video. Hopefully you can now apply that logic and those metrics to determine whether or not opportunities present themselves in certain markets. Obviously, if you like this channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you can like and subscribe. If you yourself are a developer looking for opportunities in our market, we have a booming economy here in Louisville, Kentucky. And it's been steady growth over a long period of time. And we have a variety of different industries that support our local economy that really make it a very vibrant one. If you do want to look for opportunities here in our local market, I'm a commercial real estate agent. I'd be happy to help you find those opportunities. Feel free to reach out to me at 502-536-7315, or you can reach me via email at raphael@grisantegroup.com. Thanks again so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all next time.